Here is the absolute rawest test I can imagine giving you of this new Studiobricks 1 Plus vocal booth that I purchased. Let's go over the important stuff. First of all, I'm using a MacBook Pro, the M1, to record this. I'm probably 2.5, 3 feet away from the microphone, and so you're really hearing all the noise of this space. Now, if I shut up for a second, you're going to hear the silent air conditioner down by my feet. Now it's at its second to highest setting, and there are 4 settings to step down from its current position. So it can get pretty quiet. But knowing that this is a MacBook microphone and knowing how sensitive those are, it's pretty quiet. You could absolutely get something like that out in post. It's very comfortable in here. It's probably about 72, 74 degrees in my house, and the air exchanger and conditioner makes it about the same in here. This is the voiceover edition, so it comes with some things, like this desk that the laptop is currently sitting on, like the air conditioner, like this Yellowtech mounting system and the things that go on it, not the iPad, obviously, but this music stand for your copy so that you can read in it while you're doing your voiceover work, and also a Yellowtech mic mount that I have my RE20 connected to. Hi, it's not working. It's not what you're hearing anyway. And that's great and really easy to position and maneuver. It does not come with a chair. I'm just sitting in a dining room chair that I brought in, plenty of space for it. I am a 330-pound, 6'1" man. And so I'm large. That's why I'm telling you that. I'm not trying to impress you with my dimensions. This is a 3.5 foot by 5.5 foot externally, 3 foot by 5 foot internally. And as you can see, like I have plenty I couldn't do the chicken. Well, maybe I could. Ooh, I could. I could do it. That's pretty good. But there's plenty of room in here for me. So if you are smaller than me, which I don't know, this is America. Maybe most of you aren't smaller than me. But if you are, there's plenty of room. You can hear that there's a pretty good accentuation of bass in here. There's a big bass trap behind me. I don't know if you can see it up there. Ooh, there it is up there. And it does a pretty good job. I mean, I've been very happy with what this room sounds like after it goes through a slight amount of denoising, some very light equalization, and some compression in post. I think this space sounds effing amazing. I'm very happy with how it sounds. That said, I'm also like I said, 3 feet or so away from the mic. So a lot of what you're hearing is not what you'd be hearing if I was on a $500 microphone practicing proper mic technique and really taking care in my presentation, which I'm not doing now because this is really just to give an overview of the booth. I'm extremely happy with it. Let's talk about how hard it is to put together. Conceptually, technically, not hard to put together. They're essentially giant Legos that weigh between 30 and 60 pounds. So they're heavy Legos. And imagine they're rectangular, square, some are longer, some are shorter, some are more stout, some are taller. And in between either side of them is a channel. And in those channels go these tiny wooden blocks. And those wooden blocks are actually very interesting. The outside of the block is wood, the other side of the block is wood, and through the middle of that block is a little bit of foam channeling so that you get, it almost mimics the kind of acoustic treatment you do when creating resilient channels in walls. So there's a resilient channel and it's reinforced by something that will do absorption within the resilient channel. It might not make sense as I'm saying it, but imagine a rectangle. It's got 2 sides and it's 3-dimensional. It's got a width to it, and in that width there's a channel so that sound can bounce around in there and get trapped. But what fits within that channel is a small, like a rectangular long piece of wood, as I just described, that sits in that resilient channel and does more to keep the sound transmission at a lower level so that you hear less from the outside. So conceptually, first of all, I think it's designed brilliantly. Conceptually, to put it together is simple, but these pieces are heavy, and to give you an idea, I can bench press in a decline position. I do bench press in a decline position, just shy of 400 pounds. And by the time I got to the 3rd layer of this thing, and I had to do a resting position, like a squat lift of this door, which weighs 300 pounds. If you are not, and I had a hard time. I'm not saying that to impress anybody. I'm saying it to convey that if you are somebody who is not as big as I am, and who's not as strong as I am, that you are not going to do this by yourself. I didn't do it by myself. I needed help. My friend Isidro came down from Thornton I live in Colorado, in Denver, to come and help me. I needed his help. If I didn't have his help, there was no chance that I would have been able. I was able to lift the door by myself. That probably wasn't smart. But by the time I got to the third layer of these bricks that you build up, kind of around yourself as you're inside or outside of it, I was very tired. My arms were very tired. There were times where long pieces were very hard to handle because I had to be on one end to make sure it fit, but I wasn't, I didn't have a long enough wingspan to get to the other end and make sure it was aligning. So it's a weight thing. It's an exhaustion thing. It's a difficulty thing. And it's just a matter of an extra set of hands makes this so much easier. So yes, it's conceptually easy to put together, but it's not easy to put together. You will be tired. You will want help. You should not do this by yourself. There's way too good of an opportunity for you to hurt yourself or drop something. There was actually a point where the very top level of this wall here, as I was putting it in, something very funny happened in my forearm. It contracted, and you can see my fingers, I got this thing happened, this double jointed thing, and I couldn't undo it. I pinched a nerve. I almost broke my wrist because I had to let go of the piece. It was a true muscle failure moment by the time I got up there. And that was when I had to stop and say, okay, I'm going to revisit this tomorrow. So, and they say this in the instruction, this is a 2-person build at minimum. Don't try to do this on your own. Okay. I really could have hurt myself, and I'm really lucky I didn't. I felt like if that panel had weighed 2 more pounds, I would have snapped my wrist the way that it fell. It felt real close. This is about to happen. I'm about to have a broken wrist. So don't do this on your own. Have help, even though it's technically easy. And then I would say, I'm happy with the sound. I'm happy with the process of putting it together. It cost $10,000, so I don't know that I'm happy with the price, but I don't feel disappointed in the results for that cost. What else can I say? They do also send you, if you get the voiceover edition, a way to mount your monitor right up there. I didn't do that. I didn't feel that was necessary. I may do it later. So you can have your whole system in here if you'd like. There's a single port pass-through. You can order a second one if you want, but right now I've got about 5 cables going through that port with no issue. What else? There's a scatter panel above me that you add manually. It doesn't come prefixed, but it is included. There's a light up here that's providing all this terrible lighting. It's great. I can't say a bad thing about it. I'm really happy with it. The experience. Let's talk about the shipping, actually. The shipping was a little bit of a hot mess, and I'm going to chalk that up to the fact that this company, Studiobricks, I have a suspicion has maybe only hit critical mass over the pandemic period. And I think that they're small. I think they're a small, intimate team, and I think they care a lot. And I think that the shipping woes that are facing the world, ships getting stuck in ports for weeks, or not even being able to get into port for weeks, customs rules keeping things for much longer than they would ordinarily keep things. I think it's a very challenging world to exist in right now if you're somebody who's shipping things internationally, which brings me to the fact that this is shipped from Barcelona, Spain. So this has to be manufactured, it has to ship across the ocean, and then it has to get to you after it's released from customs, after it gets into port, after all those things. So it took me about a month and a week to get this. And the only reason it took that long, that's actually short, is because when I ordered it, it was already in transit. There happened to be a model that I wanted on a shipment that was already en route. If you order this, you can expect to wait up to as long as 3 months, I imagine. That's what I've heard from others. It wasn't my experience, but when you reach out to them to ask for one of these, to express your interest, they do have a New York showroom. So they do have things here in the States that are more readily available and could probably be shipped more immediately. I would recommend that if time is of import to you, that you ask them what they have in stock and choose from what's available here in the States, as opposed to waiting for it to be custom built in Barcelona and shipped and dealing with all those things. Now that said, as frustrating as the shipping experience was, because it felt very disjointed, there are a lot of, you can check my Twitter, I really appreciated these guys. I don't have anything negative to say about them. I'm just trying to set the expectation. There are a number of shipping organizations that will be involved in this. There were 3 involved in the delivery of mine out to Colorado. One was XPO, one was F&A Logistics, and the other one I swear I can't remember, but if you look at my Twitter account, you will remember it. You'll see it. Tanner Helps is the Twitter account. It's very disjointed. You don't get great tracking information until it's physically en route from New Jersey, which is where they ship, to your destination. That's the first time you'll ever have any sense of how much longer you have to wait. But again, at no point was the customer service that I experienced shitty. Never. Everybody was as responsive as you could expect someone to be. I always got an answer within 24 hours, sometimes within just a couple hours. And everybody was very nice. So if and when you order one of these, you'll need to be patient. You'll need to expect to be patient. You'll need to expect to wait months. If you go into it with that expectation and you're okay with that, then when this thing finally arrives at your home and you finally get through the slog of putting it together, you will be very happy with the result. A couple of people have asked me, would you have rather gotten a Whisper booth? Now, a Whisper room, sorry, is the company name. It's essentially a vocal booth, same as this. It's very different in appearance. But essentially, they're the same. I have been in Whisper rooms. I've been in Studiobricks rooms, and not just this one, but others. And what I have found is that they're all susceptible to low frequency. Low frequency is very hard to deal with if you have a low frequency source anywhere near your booth, an air conditioning unit, something outside, a garbage truck goes by. Low frequency is not really what these booths are designed to combat. Now, that said, Studiobricks booths come standard double-walled. The Whisper rooms do not come standard double-walled. They come standard single-walled, and they cost extra to make double-walled. So even with the shipping and all the extra cost, what you get for the same price from Studiobricks is equal to what you get for in what they call enhanced models on Whisper Room. Now, they perform the same, but technically you're going to pay less with Studiobricks. Now, Studiobricks also offers a third wall. That would have taken my cost from about $9,800. I'm calling it $10,000 to round up, but $9,800 and like $38 or something. It would have taken my cost from that to, I want to say it would have been just shy of $15,000 for the triple. If I had gotten the triple, I would almost guarantee you I wouldn't be able to hear my girlfriend who's talking outside of this booth right now on tech support, which I can hear very faintly, but faintly enough that if I had to remove it in post, it wouldn't be an issue. So if you've got $15,000 and you have low frequency issues, Studiobricks is the way to go. If you're trying to choose between the double wall standard model from Studiobricks or the single walled standard model from Whisper Room, it's no competition. Studiobricks is better. If you're going for the enhanced model from Whisper Room and the standard model, which are both double walled from Studiobricks, you're going to wind up with pretty much the same results. They're going to be susceptible to low frequency. So it's very important that when you set your own expectation about how these booths will perform, that you understand that low frequency will be a problem no matter how much you pay for any booth. I don't care if you made it 5 walls. The length of low frequency sound waves are such that you would need to build something that was 20 feet thick in order to get rid of some low frequency signals. So you have to have realistic expectations. Now, the good news is that I think that these booths are probably, I haven't tested this yet, but I would say that they're probably pretty effective down to 150 hertz. So if you have like 60 hertz hum outside your booth, you can probably, you're going to be able to roll that off, or you're going to be able to use a spectral denoiser to get rid of that without affecting your sound too much. But most of us don't have that kind of thing that loud outside of our booths. We'd be smarter about where we place it. So I'm happy. That's what I can say. I'm super happy. I would spend the money again. And if you're trying to decide between a Whisper Room or a Studiobricks booth, the only place where Whisper Room wins, in my opinion, they're equal as far as if you get equal models, they're going to perform as well. But Whisper Room will will be a better experience for you and will be faster for you if you care about speed of delivery, and speed of customer service responses. Whisper Room's going to be better. I found that in communicating with them when I was trying to make the same decision, that they would answer emails more quickly, and of course they're US based, so they would deliver things more quickly. But the biggest thing, you guys, Whisper Rooms are they're ugly. They're big fuzzy boxes. They're like cubic manifestations of fuzzy hippie posters that glow in the dark, right? Like I don't like them. I just didn't like the way they looked. Whereas these things can come in any range of colors, from yellow, black, red, purple, any color you really want. They come standard in white, and they look extremely clean. And the inside of these, like if you've seen the inside of a Whisper Room, you know it doesn't look like this. It looks like it's got fuzzy walls, and it's got big ugly blue panels or orange panels, and the lighting's pretty good in it, but it just doesn't feel like it's worth 10 grand. This feels like it's worth 10 grand. This really feels like it's worth 10 grand. So if I had to choose and I was patient, Studiobricks would be the way to go for me. Anyway, that's probably all I need to say. You've gotten enough out of this, I'm sure. Ask questions down below if you have questions that you think I can answer. I'm happy to answer them. And other than that, good luck.